Do you ever wonder why others look at you like there's something weird about you? I must confess that I was quite afraid before I came to the States, and therefore was never enthusiastic about studying abroad. Plus, I never felt comfortable leaving my loved ones behind. But somehow, going through quite a bit of argument and obstacles, I ended up being in the States for almost 4 years so far. People often ask me, so how are you able to survive in a totally different place for years? In fact, I haven't actually noticed how I made through all these years, so I was never able to give anyone a response to the question. Until recently, I heard about this psychology experiment, which I decided to be my final answer. And it goes like this. A scientific researcher gathered 10 volunteers for a study called the SCAR experiment. Separating the volunteers into 10 different little rooms without mirrors, the researcher explained that the purpose of the study was to examine how other people would respond to a stranger with a physical deformity, such as a facial scar. Using makeup tricks, the researcher put bloody scars on each volunteer's left cheek. She showed each volunteer the scar with a small mirror and then put it away. Her final step was to put the finishing powder on the scar to prevent it from smearing. Each volunteer was then sent out into the waiting rooms of different medical offices with instruction to notice how strangers in the office responded to the scar. After the appointment time, all 10 volunteers returned with a similar report. Some noticed that the strangers were more rude to them. Others said that the strangers stared at their scar the whole time they were in there. At the end of the experiment, the researcher took the 10 volunteers into a room with a huge mirror in it, and all the volunteers were shocked because there wasn't any scar on their face. When the researcher told them she was going to put the finishing powder on their scar, she actually covered the scar up completely without them knowing. To me, this experiment means that we often magnify and are so preoccupied with our own flaws or differences that we believe others would too. In order to accept ourselves, we must free our own thoughts by keeping a positive self-image. However, things won't always turn out the way you wanted them to, and the road you choose to take or forced to take might lead you somewhere different. But I hope you'll never lose faith in yourself. Remember, we all need to move on from the life we plan to live to the life we're meant to live. Thank you.